The Guam Department of Education is acknowledging that the active shooter drill that was executed Monday at the Tizon High School was poorly done. But now that the dust has settled and it's clear that it was only a drill, GDOE also wants to remind the community that ultimately the people who will be protecting our school children are the school administrators and teachers. PNC's Janela Carrera with more.
Imagine being a parent and receiving a message from your child that an active shooter is on campus. What would you do? How would you feel? If you answered terrified, you aren't alone. Many parents reacted the same way when they received that exact same message from their children at Tizon High School that an active shooter was on campus. Fortunately, it was only a drill. Unfortunately, some parents, faculty, and students didn't find out until much later, causing panic and fear among stakeholders. It turns out, Tizon High Principal Sophie Duenas executed the active shooter drill without guidance of or notifying GDOE Central Office. In fact, Superintendent John Fernandez was not even aware.
There wasn't any information about Tizon. But then once I put the question out there, I did receive something from Sodexo. Some of their employees have received a text message from the school administration indicating that this was not a drill.
It wasn't until Fernandez drove to the school himself that he finally learned that the active shooter was only a drill. After the incident, GDOE received a flood of calls and complaints from parents and other stakeholders.
As we go through this, a lot of people are saying, well, who's going to be accountable, who's responsible, who's to blame? That's, understandable for those who were angry and kind of frustrated because in the middle of that incident they felt that anxiety. Right. And that's true, that the administrator at Tizon High School wanted to do something to improve the effectiveness of the preparation. Mm-hmm. Now, I wouldn't say the judgment that was made was, in retrospect, the right judgment. But I don't think there was an intent to cause anxiety unnecessarily in the community.
While there may still be a sense of frustration following Monday's drill, Fernandez emphasizes that the people who will be protecting school children in the event of a real active shooter situation are those same administrators who may have been involved in this decision-making process.
On the other hand, we recognize that these are the front line, but at the same time, what are we going to do then to address those issues that you were trying to address?
Education Board Chairman Mark Mendiola, who wears multiple hats, not just as a chairman, but also the husband of a Tizon High teacher and parent of a Tizon High student, says he too felt the anxiety many parents felt. But after learning about the active shooter situation only being a drill, he immediately felt a sense of relief. We asked him about the board policies when it comes to drills and exercises.
In our board policies, Board Policy 500, I believe that's the number, in it just sets the framework for it, but then the actual SOP and the way the lines of communication has to be fluid in a sense, because as time progresses, maybe 10, 15 years when that policy was created, it didn't address active shooters. Well, now that it is a part of what it is today, and how we have to have terrorism and things of hazardous material issues.